Hey Amazon, so this is the Dyson V11 and this is the Dyson V15, and today we are going to compare these two vacuums and I am going to tell you exactly what are the differences between these two vacuums. Now first off, from a design standpoint, these vacuums look very similar from one another. They both have the same 0.2 gallon bin capacity, they both weigh about the same. And in order to power on these vacuums, they both have a trigger that you have to hold down. Now, in holding down this trigger, it does not require a lot of pressure. However, I do want to let you know right off the bat is that holding down this trigger for let's say 10, 15, or 20 minutes can get a little tiring, especially in the forearm. So that might be a reason for you why you might want to upgrade to let's say the Dyson Gen 5. But with that out of the way, we're just going to go ahead and continue with the differences between the V15 and the V11. Now, one of the main differences between the V15 and the V11 is that the V15 does have a built-in LED screen, which is going to tell you the type of dust that you are picking up. Now, personally, I don't think that it's a big deal to know what kind of dust you're picking up, but I do like this LCD screen because it gives you a readout of how much battery you have left. Whereas with the V11, there is no LCD screen on the back. All you have are these three indicator lights that tell you the status of your battery. And personally, I really do feel that it's a very big deal that the V15 has that built-in LCD screen on the back that gives you a much more accurate readout of the battery. Because even though these two vacuums do have an advertised battery life of 60 minutes, I have noticed that with the V15, since there is an auto mode, that does help this vacuum be a lot more efficient, and it is going to help extend the life of your battery, because keep in mind, depending on the heads that you use with these vacuums, that is going to determine the overall length of your battery. But also, one of the big performance differences between these two vacuums is that with the V15, this vacuum does have more suction power than the V11. So you are going to be able to get deeper into those thicker carpets, and you are going to be able to do your cleaning a little faster. But also, the V15 is noticeably quieter than the V11. But let me just show you. So now we're just going to do a quick sound test. Now, both of these vacuums are set to medium, and here comes the V11. Here comes the V15, V11, V15. So like you may have just heard, the V15 is significantly quieter than the V11. But now we're going to switch these two vacuums over to Eco. So here we go. Eco on the V11, Eco on the V15. V11, V15. So again, the V15 is significantly quieter than the V11, and even at its quietest setting, the V11 isn't really quiet. And finally, we're just going to go ahead and switch these two vacuums over to Boost, and here comes a Boost on the V11, Boost on V15, V11, V15. So again, like you may have just heard, the V15 is noticeably quieter than the V11, and that might be a big deal if, let's say, you're trying to vacuum in an apartment and you don't want to disturb your neighbors, but it's also nice to have a quieter vacuum, even if you're at home, because you might have family or smaller kids that are trying to sleep. Alright, so I've told you the performance differences between the V11 and the V15, and now we're just going to talk about the differences between the included heads. Now, both of these vacuums come included with a large carpet cleaner head, and this head is also used for, let's say, cleaning your hardwood floors. However, the carpet cleaner head that comes included with the V15 is a little different from the carpet cleaner head that comes included with the V11. With the upgraded carpet cleaner head that comes included with the V15, you do have this gate so that you can adjust the suction of this carpet cleaner head, but also there is a skirt here on the back, and personally I like this skirt because it does help protect your furniture when you're vacuuming, but also this skirt here on the back does help with the overall performance of this carpet cleaner head. Whereas the carpet cleaner head on the V11 is a little simpler. There are no gates on the front and there is no silicone skirt on the back. And both the V11 and V15 come included with this smaller carpet cleaner head, and this is the carpet cleaner head that you might want to use for, like, let's say your stairs, if you're trying to do any detail work in your car, or if you're trying to clean your pet's bed. But perhaps the biggest difference between the V11 and the V15 is that the V15 comes included with the fluffy optic tool. Now, this is the head that you will want to use to clean your hardwood floors, and this head also has a built-in LED, which is going to help you find any dirt or dust that you might not see with the naked eye. And overall, even though this built-in LED on the fluffy optic tool is a very simple tool, it is a very useful tool. So this is going to help you keep your hardwood floors cleaner than with the V11. And finally, another big difference between the V11 and the V15 is that the V15 has support for Dyson Submarine. And this is a mop head that is going to allow you to mop your floors with a very small amount of water, and it is extremely efficient. And this is something that the V11 simply just doesn't have support for. But finally, let's talk about the non-motorized heads that come included with these two vacuums. Now, both of these vacuums come included with this dusting tool, and if you want, you can always extend these bristles. And both of these vacuums do have a crevice tool. Now, this is the crevice tool that comes included with the V11, whereas the crevice tool that comes included with the V15 is a little different. And now, first off, it is hidden inside of the long neck attachment, and all you gotta do is you just press on this red button here, you extend this forward, and here is your crevice tool, and here are the bristles. But if you don't want to use these bristles, you can always just press down on these red buttons and push these back, and now here is your crevice tool in case you want to get into a tighter spot. And to put all of this away, all you gotta do is you just grab your long neck attachment and this slides right back in and you're good to go. So with all that being said, the main performance differences between the V11 and the V15. The V15 does have more suction power than the V11, and it's also noticeably quieter than the V11. The V15 is also more power efficient than the V11 because the V15 does have an auto mode that is going to help extend your battery life, whereas with the V11, all you have are your boost, medium, and eco settings. But also another difference between the V15 and the V11 is that with the V15 you do have the LCD screen on the back, which is going to tell you the type of dirt that you're picking up, but more importantly, it does give you a more accurate readout of your expected battery life. But finally, there are the attachments. Now, both of these vacuums come included with these carpet cleaner heads, and you can use these heads on hardwood floors, but the head that comes included with the V15 is slightly upgraded because you can manually adjust the suction, and it does have that silicone skirt on the back, which personally I like because it does help protect your furniture. But more importantly, the V15 also comes included with the fluffy optic tool, and this is a great tool for your hardwood floors, and thanks to the built-in LED, it does help you find any dirt that you might miss with the naked eye. And like I've mentioned before, it is a very simple tool, but it is a very useful tool. And finally, the V15 does have support for Dyson Submarine, which does allow you to mop your floors with a very efficient amount of water. So overall, personally, I do feel that it is worth upgrading from the V11 to the V15 because with the V15, you are going to get better suction while being noticeably quieter. You're also going to get the better battery life, and you're also going to have support for newer and more useful heads.